Welcome, friends. This is Harshad Parekh inviting you to listen to some of my short writings on philosophy, religion, psychology, spirituality, education, Krishnamurti, and nature. I hope you have a good listening. This is a audio tape number 109, article number 723. It is about Achyutji Patwardhan. There is an interesting conversation about politics and transformation of society between Achyutji Patwardhan and Satish Kumar. This happened in 1960 at Rajghat School in Varanasi. Achyutji Patwardhan was a freedom fighter and the founder of Socialist Party of India. He was also a professor of economics. Later on, he joined Rajghat School to work for Krishnamurti Foundation. Satish Kumar was a Jain monk in his childhood and youth, but later on he left religious organization to travel on foot to Russia, London, Paris, Washington, D.C. as a peace pilgrim. He has been the editor of Resurgence magazine and has deep interest in ecology. This conversation happened in 1960 at Rajghat School in Varanasi when Satish Kumar was 24 years old and Achyutji was 55 years old. Satish Kumar asked Achyutji, you spent much of your life in politics. You were a prominent member of the Socialist Party of India. You were working to bring about a transformation through political change. But now you are living a quiet life in this bungalow surrounded by trees and tranquility, while there are millions of people out there suffering. What happened? Achyutji answered, politics failed me. It has failed India. Politicians use slogan of serving the people as a smoke screen, as a pretext to gain power. Once they are in power, their primary aim is to stay in power by hook or by crook. I saw all this with my own eyes. The history of politics is littered with deception, corruption, and delusion. So I decided that it was all a waste of time and I got out of it. Politics has become, like religion, part of the problem and not part of the solution. Politics means divide and rule. This was true of the British and it is true of the Congress party now. The struggle for independence was a selfless struggle. Now the struggle is for power, for privilege, and for wealth. Satish Kumar asks, then what is the alternative? Achyutji answered, the alternative is in education. We must stop conditioning and corrupting our children. Therefore, Krishnamurti and his friends have started a number of schools to do exactly that. One in South India called Rishi Valley, another here in Rajghat, another in England, and another in California. In these schools, there are no fixed dogmas. Children are able to learn about the unity of life, about seeing things as they are, about integrity and wholeness. I find much greater satisfaction in working with children than I found in politics. Article number 724 is about Achyutji's assembly talk. Achyutji Patwardhan spoke passionately in senior school assembly of Rishi Valley on September 8, 1981. He talked about excellence in knowledge and in morality. Everyone listened spellbound. His voice burst out with strong feelings against politicians and their moral corruption. He said something about himself. At the age of 18, I learned in one economics class that the cause of poverty in India was overpopulation. When I came out of that class, I said to myself, when I die, no one will call me a father. He said, don't cause misery to others for your happiness. He also said, there is learning through memory and knowledge, and there is a learning without knowledge. Listen to the wind through eucalyptus trees. That is learning without knowledge. He said, Rishi Valley is an elite school. This is the school from where new generation of spiritual fountain will flow. Article number 725. It is about a rare bird. It is a great pleasure to see birds flying in the sky every morning. Most of the time, I am not able to capture these birds on my camera because I see them unexpectedly flying in a big group. They are full of grace and energy and do not feel the weight of their bodies. On March 10, 1997, I wrote in my diary about a rare bird. I am sharing it now. She was a rare bird. She flew very high in the sky effortlessly without fluttering her wings. It seemed as if she was motionless while space and time flowed past her. She had no interest in idle gossip. She had lost interest in gathering knowledge of the external world. Her attention was fixed on the inner world where flowers bloomed and crystal clear waters of life flowed day and night. She was content to fly alone, but the whole world seemed to live within her. Like her fellow birds, she had experienced sorrow and joy in life. She had understood the mechanism which produced sorrow and joy. Now sorrow and joy appeared like bubbles on the calm ocean of consciousness. Streams of energy flowed through her body day and night. Her life seemed to be guarded by angels. She was the Blessed One, and now her life existed to bless. The rare bird continued to fly alone for many years. In moments of heightened sensitivity, she uttered words like Tattvam Asi or Shivo Aham. But how long can one remain young and healthy? The rare bird became old with time. Her wings began to feel gravity of the planets. Her lungs were unable to breathe the thin air of high altitudes. She knew the end was near. The weaker her body became, the greater was her desire to merge into the unknown. At the last moment of her life, the spirit dissociated from the body and the dead body crashed into the ocean. Article number 726. It is about a dialogue on mediocrity. A dialogue with Rajesh and students on mediocrity. On March 20, 1981, Rajesh and I had a dialogue with students of classes 8 and 9 in Rishi Valley. Rajesh initiated the dialogue by asking, are we not mediocre? What is involved in being a mediocre? I said, mediocrity means fear of standing alone. When you see something as true and yet you remain quiet and do not express your thoughts out of fear of public opinions, you are mediocre. Rajesh said, mediocrity means indifference. In this country, most people are indifferent to the things that are happening. Policemen are beating people cruelly. Trains are running irregularly. Corruption and injustice of bureaucracies are widespread, and yet very few people care. I said, mediocrity means to accept things without questioning. Rajesh said, yes, that is a good definition of mediocrity. Dabu said, I have to be here at Rishivalis for more than a year. If I express my true feelings about this school, I will be thrown out. Rajesh said, first let us see the truth of mediocrity. Do you accept to be mediocre? Mediocre means dull and inefficient without any vitality and life. You must have seen older people who read Bhagavad Gita and accept everything that is written without any question. They repeat sentences from Gita without any understanding. As people grow older, they become more and more mediocre. I said, as you grow older, you get settled. As you grow older, you get settled in like dirt in dirty water. You have a family to support and children to educate. You are afraid of losing your job and afraid of speaking the truth. Not to be a mediocre is as dangerous as being a mediocre. But if you express your true feelings and thoughts, you must be ready to face society and the danger of being an outcast. This was very difficult for students to understand and accept. They are too young to think about these things. They are dependent on their parents, and the question of revolting against the injustice of society is too frightening for them. I said, let us take a classroom situation. Most of you accept what the teacher teaches and what the textbook writes without questioning. You memorize some formulas without understanding and score good marks. If you do not understand something written in the textbook, you accept it and think that books are always right. LR and Dabu said, scientists have worked for years and books are written based on their works. How can they be wrong? We do not have much time to verify if they are wrong. It is easier and quicker to accept what they have done. We cannot spend too much time thinking about their work. They are right because their works have been accepted by all other scientists in the world. I said, if Einstein had accepted Newton's ideas, he would not have invented the theory of relativity. Rajesh said, all great creative people never accept what others have done without questioning. Because they have the ability to question, they are able to create new things and people respect them. Rajesh told us the story about his life. When he was studying at IIT, he began to lose interest in science and technology. He started reading books on psychology, religion, education, etc. He neglected his studies in engineering. There was tremendous pressure from parents and teachers to make him do well in engineering. He was not interested in getting marks, good marks, and so did not study well but obtained the first class in the final year of engineering. Then he joined Krishnamurti's school in Varanasi. His parents were very unhappy, but he ignored their wishes because he knew what he wanted to do. His interest was in the area of education. But friends and relatives thought that he was making a great mistake and he would repent in future. Now, after 6 years, friends and relatives respect him and think that he was correct when he decided to join Krishnamurti Foundation. Dabu said, "You knew what you were interested in. We don't know what we are interested in. How can we have deep interest in something? Can it be developed by will?" Rajesh said, "Now you are asking the right question. When we have a deep interest in something, we become challenging and we no longer remain mediocre." I said, "When we begin to understand ourselves by watching our thoughts and actions, there is an awakening of intelligence. Then we can study subjects with a questioning mind. Out of interest in learning about ourselves, interest in learning various subjects come." Rajesh said, "Yes, that is the only way to awaken interest."